There are so many beauty products available out there. The pressure of having beautiful, flawless skin has forced women and men alike to spend a fair amount of money to get this glow. But if we get back to basics, we wouldn't need to spend as much as we do. To chat to us about the truth behind having a beautiful skin naturally is nutritionist and skincare formulator of the Africa Grace range, Charlotte Jean. Welcome, Charlotte. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Michael.
Now, in your opinion, beautiful skin, flawless skin, what does that mean?
So it's difficult to actually define it because it's based on different cultures and what they believe. But essentially, beautiful skin is healthy skin. A skin that has an inner glow, is looked after, it's moisturized, and it isn't plagued by those things we don't want to talk about. The blemishes,
the bumps,
the humps, and it's just really, it's nurtured. You can see when you look at it that it's been taken care of.
Now, that's an interesting use of words, I think, taken care of, because a lot of people feel that if they are doing facial peels and masks and creams and all of these products, that they are looking after or taking care of their skin. But are they, in your opinion?
Well, we have to step back and look at the skin. So the skin is the body's largest organ, and it has its own immune system. And beauty isn't skin deep, beauty is organ deep. So if we're looking after our internal health, then our skin is just a reflection of what is going on inside. So by just plastering all sorts of wonderful concoctions on the top layer of our skin, we're not actually taking care of it. Sometimes we're actually disguising the symptoms that we need to see to know that it's not healthy, that we're not healthy, and to do something about it.
Well, I mean, we've had a number of discussions in this episode, in fact, where we've spoken about the internal, getting the source of the problem correct before you worry too much about the outside. You can obviously repair damage and things like that. Now, the products and things that we use to hide or mask the problems, how damaging can they actually be? So
I'll use an example. If you think about using Glad wrap and putting it across something, your skin, and underneath the Glad wrap is actually a sore, there's a wound. A lot of the products that are designed for the skin, because they are petrochemical in nature, are literally Glad wrap on top of a wound. So it doesn't help the wound to heal, it just keeps the wound insulated and contained. So that is a damage that lends itself towards disruption within the body. So it's actually very serious. Although we don't want to be the purveyors of fear, it is actually serious, and that's why we can end up doing a lot of harm to our bodies, even though we thought we were just putting a cream on or a mask.
Why is it that it's so accepted that these products that are so chemical in nature are fine?
So in many countries in the world, they're actually not accepted. There's something called the Environmental Working Group, and they ban certain ingredients because of all the research that has been done on them to say you shouldn't be using them, especially on pregnant and nursing women, children, babies. But in a lot of the countries, the marketing drive is so big behind that it just gets past our radar. And we see a beautiful picture, we see a strong brand, and we don't ask more questions.
So what do you think are some of the most important factors to a healthily or a naturally healthy skin? What would you say are there?
So the first, and this is to borrow from the Chinese, is to have a healthy stomach, a healthy gut. Because everything actually happens in the stomach. Our digestion, the way that the body transfers and processes cofactors to vitamins and minerals, and then our stress. You know, if we're healthy in our gut, we're a lot more resilient to stress. And one of the leading causes of, let's just say, unhappy skin are high stress levels that are not being resolved. So you can feel, you know, when you've had a long day, you wake up the next morning, you've got those characteristic circles under the eyes, you know, your skin color's not great, it looks a bit sallow, maybe it's not as firm. So to look at the gut, and then obviously to look at your food. I can't speak more about food than if I was just a chef. You know, it's basically understanding that your skin is a reflection of what you are eating, what you ate, and in some cases, you know, what you shouldn't have eaten. So it's telling the story of what you're consuming, not just in terms of your food, but your media, the thoughts that you're thinking. I mean, we're getting into deep sort of...
But it's so important to acknowledge that, I think, because also if you think about the life that we've been living for the past period of time, it's been fueled by fear and stress and concern and worry and all of these things. And it feels so difficult to separate yourself from them, but to acknowledge that you have to do something about it, because it's not just about feeling anxiety in your stomach, it shows literally on your face.
It does. And we actually recommend that in a week. We understand a lot of people are going to their companies. There's kind of like a unsaid culture that you need to put makeup on, or you need to do A, B, and C. But to have a day of the week where you don't put anything on your skin but love, so you can see what's actually happening. You can see if there are little broken capillaries. You know, if you've maybe developed a sore skin cancer, is often not diagnosed soon enough because of all the products we're putting on.
Really? That's quite a scary thought.
And we don't notice, because we spent how many days of the week with something else on our skin that wasn't ours. So we didn't see the development of weird things that shouldn't be taking place there. You know, so it's just also allowing your skin to speak to you and becoming more educated in what your skin is actually saying. And Michael, if we're using your natural ingredients, you know, to actually treat our skin, and there's just some beautiful ones that you can use, and they all grow naturally. We don't even have to do anything with them. Then they allow us to actually look at the complexion to see what is happening there. They don't disguise. They help us to have an honest relationship with, you know, our own bodies.
Talking about the products, or the elements within products, you say they all grow naturally and they have great effects. What are some of the key ones that you think are most important to be using on our skins to maintain a healthy skin?
So Michael, when you look at the skin and what it needs, the number one thing that all skin needs is to be clean. But it's not cleaned by harsh detergents and soaps. It's actually cleaned by oils, so plant oils. So things like calendula, jojoba. There's some beautiful, beautiful ones, and Google's so friendly, it helps us. We can go and, you know, look for more. An oil that has got the same or a similar structure in terms of the molecular size of your skin, so that it just removes the dirt on the topmost level, slightly moisturizes, but doesn't do any damage, doesn't go further into the skin. Then the skin also needs the sun. I know this is a big issue. We're always talking about sunburn, but it needs sun. You know,
there's moderation, but it must have it.
Yes, you know, within certain parameters. And it also requires hydration. But the funny thing about that is that hydration is not going to come chiefly from what you're putting on. It's from what you're eating and you're drinking. So although we can spend a lot on very fancy formulas, ultimately we're always going to be in a deprived state when it comes to our skin if we're not feeding from the inside out. So your vitamins, vitamin A and C are very important for skin. Certain types of protein to allow for collagen synthesis. So it's actually, if you're healthy, you're going to have good skin. It sounds strange, but that's really the equation.
I think it fascinates me how unaware people kind of are, you know, to hide behind this mask without considering the deeper facts. I mean, it's driven you to create a whole range of products, because obviously you've got the passion behind it. So what's the sort of the philosophy behind what you do with a skincare range?
So I believe that nothing that doesn't grow in the soil should be used on your body. There was a specialist who used to say, if you can't eat it, don't put it on.
Interesting.
So I'm not going to eat things that have been made from a secondary process of petrochemicals. I'm going to eat things that I would eat and put them on my skin, and to avoid the whole preservative cycle, because so many of our products, you know, are unnaturally preserved, where they want to them last in the shops for, you know, 2 to 5 years, which is really unhealthy. It's like trying to keep a fresh apple alive for 5 years. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat that apple.
One day they're going to manage it, I'm sure. But
exactly. So it's basically working with your plant oils, which are very, very healing, your essential oils, and anything that allows the body to do its own processes better. You know, so your vitamins and your minerals. It's very basic. It's really not rocket science, although I feel like it is now, because we don't know about it.
Yeah, well, it starts to come out like a new field of study, but it's not the case.
No. And also not trying to preserve the skin unnaturally. And I've often said, you know, what is beauty? Beauty is a person who can be real, they can be genuine, they can enjoy their own skin color, their own complexion, You know, not try and be like something else. And who even told us what that something else is?
Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for talking to us about this. I think, again, a lovely roundup to a great episode around beauty being far more than just skin deep, because it goes right inside. So thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Great.